From the clothing we wear to the curtains in our homes, the U.S. and India are some of the world's top contributors to the global textile trade. About 6% of U.S. textile imports comes from India, making it our third largest partner in the space. And that share is expected to grow. Data estimates that India's exports to the U.S. will reach $65 billion by 2026. Of course, these numbers are subject to change depending on what the new administration decides to do. Here in studio now to offer firsthand insight into that relationship with the Indian textile industry is Dipali Goenka. She is CEO and Managing Director of Welspun Living. It is one of the largest textile companies in India. Welcome.
Thank you. A pleasure indeed to be here.
So Dipali, the fog of uncertainty, at least for an investor, has been lifted with the clear outcome of this election. Do you feel that there's now more clarity and certainty on the U.S.'s stance on imports from countries like India?
I think so too, because India has been at the integral part of the supply chain for all the global retailers for a long, long time. I mean, for the last 2 years, we saw that momentum come in a lot, and we saw businesses will increase and the market share increase as well. And I feel there would be that kind of interest in India because India is, investing in infrastructure, investing in people, upskilling people. So it's becoming a huge opportunity for India.
It's also an opportunity because India is pointedly not China, and that's something that's been said over and over again. The lesson learned from the unexpected election of Trump in 2016 was that take what he says seriously, but not literally. He said a lot about trade with our Asian partners and tariffs. During the election, of course, this week as well. From where you sit, what do you take seriously? What do you take literally?
We'll wait for that. How it, can't speculate on that right now. But I can say we've been working with the United States of America for over 2 decades, seen several administrations, and have seen the COVID. So we are a resilient company and can also say that, India has had good relationships with the United States.
It has had good relationships with the United States. And 2023, it was kind of a bit of, 2024, sorry. It was a bit of a kind of coming out party, if you will, at least for a lot of folks outside of India to kind of see the rounds that Modi made, of course, a very momentous trip here in the U.S. And the idea that investors, foreign investors, seem to have really sort of warmed to the idea that this might be a place of opportunity. When we talk about the investability of India as a foreign investor here, how easier is that going to get?
India is the country. I must tell you that it is in a sweet spot. Let me tell you that. The most stable democracy, and the development there is really catching up. I mean, the infrastructure, the investment in people, the investment in, chips, as, you see the Apple coming up there, automobiles. It is surely going to be one of the largest economy as we go forward.
Has there been discussion, and we know India and really largely Southeast Asia has always been a big supplier in the textile space here. Yeah. The sort of higher end electronics is something that is relatively new, and we've seen with the rollout of the iPhone 16 that India has shown that at least in certain capacity is certainly as capable as China there. How do you avoid, though, India, and by you, I mean India as a whole, avoid some of the mistakes maybe that China made in its relationship with the United States?
I think India is a fast learner, and they've been doing it. They're deploying a lot of experts there. And I can see that happening very fast because I've been watching it from close quarters as being one of the leading industrialists and a leading company because we have invested not only in textiles in India, but also in infrastructure. We're building roads and highways, and also oil and gas and hydrogen, green hydrogen as well as a company.
But do you worry about the tariff situation here in the U.S.? And I know a lot of those tariffs are more directed towards China and other nations rather than India, but there is a blanket effect to some of those tariffs that I would think at some point would affect industries in India, including yours.
I would say we'll cross the bridge when it comes in, but I think as an opportunity, India really has a great opportunity. And we'll definitely see a lot of big things happening to this country. And because I'll tell you about Welspun. We started with bath over 2 decades back, and today we are a home solution company. America contributes around 63% to our top line, so yes.
And the stated intention of those tariffs is to bring U.S. manufacturing jobs back home. Welspun has actually a new manufacturing factory in Ohio. It's to make pillows, I believe. You just launched this recently. What was the biggest challenge when it came to setting this up in terms of regulation, insurance, or even hiring?
You know what? It has been so smooth. And people have been so welcoming here. We set up this plant in Ohio, and we've got the complete support from the administration there. And it is also encouraging us to set up a couple of them. We're exploring opportunities in the United States of America because we feel sleep is a very big challenge in this country. And coming on shore to set up a plant is going to be interesting.
You said sleep is a very big challenge for this guy. Well, I mean,
This is
certainly,
true.
it's certainly in my household, and certainly this week. And seriously, where's the growth opportunity for you? We only have about a minute left, but for Wellspun, what's the growth opportunity here in the U.S.?
It's all across
Yeah.
the categories because, as I said, we started with bath, but we're also doing bedding, fashion, rugs, carpets, and flooring. So we have all the categories across, and I see that as a great opportunity. And I think America, actually consumes 30% of the world's textiles,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
there's nobody as big as America.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The world's best customers.
We are the world's best customers. Dipali, a great conversation and great to meet you. Dipali Goenka is the CEO and Managing Director of Wellspun Living.